Hey everyone, James Baek here, and it's time for some more VGC 2015 battles from the Those Battle Spot ladder. And today's team will be Raichu, Heatran, Slowbro, Clefairy, Scrafty, and Landers. The last time we're using this team, so let's pick up at least one win, or a double win would be nice, but not with the luck I've had. So let's just find two battles and see how we do. Our first opponent today will be April from the United States, New Jersey, 1650 rating. And we are going to see a pretty standard team. We got Charizard, Terrakion, Conkeldurr, Greninja, Thundurus Incarnate, and Landorus Varian. So gonna write this team down. Of course, we do not know which Charizard this is. This could very be well Y or X. It's probably Y though, since Charizard Y is more dominant than Charizard X. Kind of wondering the items. The most standard item on Terrakion is Lumberry, but I've actually been seeing a rise of Focus Sash Terrakion, so it is a possible option. But it's kind of interesting how you see Terrakion and Conkeldurr on the same team since they're both fighting types. Conkeldurr's standard item is usually the Assault Vest. Greninja, very fast Pokemon, usually carrying the Life Orb. We got the Thundurus Incarnate, which is an annoying Pokemon that spreads status, or it could be offensive with Life Orb, but most likely that Life Orb being held on a Greninja. We got the Landorus, who's very diverse in the metagame, so who knows what item it could have. It could have Assault Vest, probably on Conkeldurr though, could have Focus Sash, maybe on Terrakion, could have Yachi Berry, Expert Belt. There are so many items on the Landorus nowadays. So, wondering what to lead with. I definitely think Heatran is going to be... Do I want to bring Heatran? Heatran doesn't do well against four of my opponent's Pokemon. I definitely like Raichu. Raichu and Slowbro as a lead. Landorus actually does really well here. Yeah, I see no reason not to bring Landorus. And I want to bring... No, do I want to bring Heatran? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to actually bring Scrafty in the back. The reason I bring Scrafty is because Intimidate will be very nice against the Terrakion, the Conkeldurr, and the Landorus. It could also be a mixed Greninja, maybe physical Greninja, maybe mixed. My opponent's going to lead Landorus and Thundurus, which is absolutely fine by me because I lead Raichu and Slowbro. Landorus going to fire off an Intimidate against my special attacker. It's not going to matter. But right here, I'm in an interesting position because I can either fake out the Landorus, break any potential Focus Sash, or I could fake out the Thundurus, preventing a taunt. I could Mega Evolve with my Slowbro then. But I'd much rather fake out the Landorus and prevent any damage because I know Thundurus can't really touch me even if it has Grass Knot. I'm going to stay in normal form so it can't taunt me. It can't go for electric type moves either thanks to Lightning Rod from Raichu. So I'm just going to go for the Calm Mind with Slowbro. Okay, Fake Out, going to connect with the Thundurus. I mean, not Thundurus, Landorus. Landorus is going to flinch. And we're going to see the Thunderbolt. Don't know what my opponent was going for. Did he expect Raichu to switch out? No, but I get a free Calm Mind with my Slowbro, which is absolutely fantastic for me right now. Right here, I think I'm actually going to Encore the Thundurus. If it wants to go for a Thunderbolt, go ahead, it's fine by me. And I'm going to Scald the Landorus. Might as well get it over with, because with Raichu, actually we have improved that to Scarf Landorus, but with Raichu, well, it's probably Scarf if it outspeeds Thundurus. Oh, but Thundurus going to go for the Swagger onto Raichu. I just Encore the Swagger. Please don't hit yourself. As Landorus is going to go for Earthquake, it is Scarf because it outsped my Raichu, so that's good information to know. That's going to bring that to my Focus Sash. However, if Raichu hits itself, that's going to be very problematic. Okay, it doesn't and gets the Encore off, which isn't great, but it's not the worst thing because I much rather have a Raichu alive than knocked out. The Scald going to connect with the Landorus and knock it out at +1. Very good, very good. However, he does get a free switch into probably the Charizard Greninja. Oh, I get it. Well, then again, he's locked into Swagger, so I'm guessing he's going to Swagger something. He's probably going to Swagger to Slowbro and attack the Raichu. That's the best I could think of. Do I want to preserve Raichu, though? I want to preserve Raichu because Raichu might have some usefulness. I'm going to switch out Raichu, go into Scrafty, and I think I'm going to Scald. Do I want to Scald the Thunders or do I want to Scald the Greninja? I'm thinking there's also a chance this Thunders that could switch out to Charizard. There's that slight chance. So I really want to Scald the Thunder slot. You know what? Go for it. Go for it. Okay, Raichu's going to switch out. That means Greninja's not switching out. I'm going to go into Scrafty. Going to get a useless Intimidate, but he probably has all special attackers in the back anyway, so Intimidate's not going to benefit me anymore. As Thunders is going to stay and go for the Swagger onto my Slowbro. That's not fun. As Slowbro is going to be confused. And we see the Dark Pulse from the Greninja. Who does it target, though? The Slowbro or the Raichu? It's actually going to target the Slowbro. Great play. And it's Life Orb. Okay. Okay, so I have a very unlikely chance I'm going to move. Yeah, I hit myself. However, that Thunders is still locked into Swagger. I think I'm going to fake out the Greninja and go for the Slack Off. Because Thunders has to go for Swagger or switch out, and I'm fine with either one. And if I just Slack Off, I'm going to heal back a lot. So I'm going to fake out this Greninja. Besides Swagger, I could be unconfused. He's actually going to Swagger my Scrafty, which is hilarious because now I have a +2 Scrafty. However, it's confused, so I'm either going to do massive damage to myself or massive damage to my opponent. Slowbro's still confused, unfortunately, but it does get that Slack Off, which is really, really nice right now. Actually, there's another move I can do. Oh, wait. That Thunders is Encore didn't end. Okay. I'm going to take advantage of that. If his Thunders is Encore didn't end, I thought it ended, but apparently it didn't. I'm going to knock off this Thunders and go for the Scald onto the Greninja. As he's just going to go for Swagger. Slowbro avoids the attack. Greninja going to go for the Dark Pulse into the Slowbro. That does a lot, but let's see. Scrafty is going to be confused. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits itself. Yep. I did call it my hit myself, right? The Slowbro snaps out. That's the thing. That's what I was expecting too. The Scald is going to connect with the Greninja, knock it out. And now it's probably Charizard and a Thunders against my Landers, and his Encore does end. But oh, Terrakion. Was not expecting that as my opponent's last Pokemon. But this works in my favor. I'm gonna switch it. He's probably gonna close combat the Scrafty and Thunderbolt. So I might as well switch out my Scrafty, go into Raichu, because I don't need Raichu anymore. And I think I'll Scald the Thunders. Or Scald the Terrakion. I'll just Scald the Terrakion, go on the safe side, because my Landers will be locked into Rock Slide, probably. Gonna withdraw my Scrafty, go into Raichu. This allows me to get an Intimidate off with my Scrafty. He's gonna go for the close combat into that slot, which I'm fine with. That's gonna knock out my Raichu, but to be honest, I was fine with that in the first place. This Raichu's gonna faint, which I am good with, and we're probably gonna see the Thunderbolt. Yep, there's the Thunderbolt, and that's gonna knock out my Slowbro. However, again, I am fine with that. And Thunders with Swagger usually means that they don't carry Hidden Power Ice or Taunt. It's one of those two usually. Gonna send out my Landers, gonna send out my Scrafty, and I'm gonna fire off an double Intimidate, which means this Terrakion can't OHKO me with a close combat. So that is really nice. However, and the probability is also on my favor because I do have Rock Slide, and the Scarf Rock Slide flinches are available. I'm gonna Rock Slide and fake out. I mean, I would probably assume that Terrakion's gonna protect, so I'm just gonna fake out the Thunders. Okay, he doesn't protect, which I'm good with. I kind of wish I went for the Drain Punch now. Rock Slide is gonna connect with both Pokemon. This should be doing a decent amount. Knocks out the Thunders. Is that a critical hit? Yes, it was a critical hit, and that's going to knock out the Thunders. Let's see, the Terrakion, I'm going to go for the close combat into Scrafty. That probably shouldn't knock out. Yeah, it's not going to knock out. That was a really fortunate crit, because now Terrakion's at -1 defenses, which means Rock Slide's doing more damage. It's single target as well. And right here, I think I have this game in the bag. Just going to Drain Punch and Rock Slide. Oh, Terrakion avoids the attack. He's going to go for his own Rock Slide. Landis is going to avoid the attack, and this will not KO my Scrafty, but it could get the flinch, which I'm expecting. No, I don't get flinched. Drain Punch is going to connect with the Terrakion, and that's going to pick up the knockout. I think he really... I don't agree with that play. I really think you just had to target down to Scrafty if you wanted any chance, and hoped you had a Rock Slide crit with a single target to knock out Landorus, or even do a nice amount. However, I don't know, that crit was really lucky. Not sure if that mattered. The Rock Slide would have probably been a 2-hit KO with the Citrus Berry factor. And he would have had to go for close combat twice in order to knock out Scrafty, unless he just wanted to Rock Slide flinch, which was unlikely. He would have been a -2 single target Rock Slide from Landorus. Should have been quite good damage, and his Rock Slide shouldn't be doing much against me. And I also had the flinch probability with Rock Slide, so not sure if that mattered, but I will take that game, and we will find a second round and see how we do. Our second opponent today will be from someone from Japan, 1705 rating, and he is bringing a very, very scary rain team. We got Politoed, not Ludicolo, I'm so used to seeing Ludicolos on rain team. Kingdra, Weavile, Talonflame, Manectric, and Terrakion. So my opponent has quite a few options. The Mega Pokemon here will be Manectric, which is exciting because you usually don't see Manectric as often as you usually do. Not sure my opponent wants to bring Rain though. Regardless, I think I'm gonna lead. I don't want to be led into either trap. I honestly think Slowbro and Clefairy are the safest leads, because if he leads with the Kingdra and Politoed, Slowbro will wall it with the Friend Guard from Clefairy. If he leads Weavile and Terrakion, I can redirect the beat up. Gonna bring Raichu in the back because Raichu does really well against this team. It walls the Mega Manectric. And I think I'm gonna bring Landorus in the back. Just gonna write this team down. The reason I'm bringing Landorus against a rain team is it does so well against the other Pokemon he has. I mean, Scarf Landorus will outspeed Weavile and bring it down to its Focus Sash with Rock Slide or a Superpower. It knocks out Talonflame easily. It knocks out the Terrakion and knocks out the Manectric as long as it's not intimidated. So I feel really confident bringing Landorus. The only things I will have to worry about are the Politoed and the Kingdra, which I feel like if I just get around them, it shouldn't be a big deal. So let's go with that. Of course, I do have to be worried about locking myself into Earthquake with only one Pokemon on this. The Pokemon I'm bringing, Clefairy, actually has Protect, so I definitely have to be careful. My opponent's going to lead Politoed and Weavile against Slowbro and Clefairy. Not sure how that works. Unless he's baiting me, because now I'm thinking he's going to switch out his Politoed, go into his Terrakion, and I don't know, I think I'm playing mind games here, but I really expect Politoed switching out into that Terrakion. Weavile goes for the beat up. I see no reason for him not to do that. Am I crazy enough to go for this play? But I think I'm going to Scald the Politoed, predicting that. And if he doesn't, oh well, what can Politoed and Weavile really do? I also have Heal Pulse and other moves, and Politoed Weavile shouldn't be doing that much. It does seem like my safest play. You know what? Protect Clefairy and Scald the Politoed. No, he's not switching out. Okay. I was just overcomplicating the matters, but if I was in that situation, I honestly would probably do that, to be honest. Clefairy's gonna protect. Let's see, if we all went for the Fake Out or onto the Slowbro, it's fine. Okay, so that turn really didn't end up mattering. Let's see what the oh, the Parasol. Okay, so my opponent's being smart about this. He knows that Slowbro can set up, and he's going to use Politoed in order to prevent that setting up. So I think I'm going to Scald the... Do I want to Scald the Politoed again, predicting that Terrakion switch now? Or just Scald the Weavile just to be safe? I'll Scald and follow me, I think. That prevents the play that my opponent could do. Okay, so he's not going to... Okay, he's not switching out into Terrakion. He's going to go for a knockoff. Very nice move. That's going to get rid of my Violet. Is that Life Orb? No, it's not. And we're going to see the Encore onto Clefairy, which is fine since I went for the Follow Me. Going to get the Scald off onto the Weavile, which is going to do a nice amount in the rain. Brings it down to its Focus Sash with the critical hit. Does it get the burn and knock it out? No burn, but I'm fine. So I think I want to Scald the Weavile. And do I... I also want to switch out. Actually, I don't think I want to target the Weavile. I think I want to target down this Politoed, since Politoed's being a nuisance right now. Side Shock the Politoed, switch out Clefairy into Raichu. As he's going to withdraw Weavile into Kingdra. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't Scald that slot, actually. So Raichu's going to come out. Let's see what the Politoed went for. It's going to go for the Scald, probably onto the Raichu slot, I would imagine. Yep. Don't get the burn. Okay, it doesn't. Psyshock going to connect with this Politoed. And the Perish Trap thing. This is a very annoying because Perish Song, it limits the movement you can use with your team. Obviously, I'm forced to switch out Slowbro. I'm going to go into Landorus. And I'll fake out the Kingdra. Yeah, fake out Kingdra. At least with Perish Song, he's stalling out his own range, so... But then again, he has Politoed in the back, so I guess he could switch out no matter what. He's going to bring out Talonflame. Okay, so we've seen all four of my opponent's Pokemon, and this means that actually Mega Slowbro beats all these Pokemon easily. He did not decide to bring his Mega, which is the interesting part. I do get the Intimidate off onto Talonflame, which is nice. Fake Out's going to connect with the Kingdra, which is going to make it flinch. The rain is still up, unfortunately. What do I want to do now? I see the Muddy Water and the Brave Bird. Can I stop that, though? I have to conserve both these Pokemon. I think I'm going to sack off Clefairy here. And go into Slowbro to take a Muddy Water. We're probably going to see the Muddy Water Brave Bird play. We could also see the U-turn. I mean, that would make sense. This Perish Song. We did face Perish Song with this team a while ago. However, the opponent didn't have much offensive pressure as my opponent does now, obviously, not being a full-time Perish Trap team. And Perish Song, you guys might be thinking, why would anyone have that on Politoed if it's not like Shadow Tag with Gothitelle or Mega Gengar? The reason is, it's usually for the end game where Politoed's not really doing much, so you have Perish Song as a last resort at the end game. Raybird's actually going to knock out Clefairy, which I thought Clefairy would live, but then again, it might be Bandit or Life Orb. It's probably Life Orb, I would imagine. The Muddy Water going to connect with Slowbro, and that does so much. Life Orb, Rain, but still. But the rain does stop here, and that's quite fantastic for me. I'm going to bring out my Landorus, which is going to intimidate that Talonflame. And now, I can Rock Slide I mean, I would probably assume that Talonflame's gonna switch out, but I think I gotta go for that Rock Slide. And I think I'm going to Calm Mind here, because I know that the... Maybe I just walked into a trap, I just realized that. However, I feel like this is the only plays I can make right now. This team just doesn't have a way to deal with offensive Perish Trap. There's the switch with Talonflame. I need that Rock Slide flinch on this, Kingdra. I couldn't go for U-turn either, as Raichu would have been taking the Muddy Water, and I don't need Raichu feigning. Rock Slide's gonna connect for both Pokemon, fortunately, so this should be doing a decent amount to both. It's gonna bring Politoed to its Citrus Berries, so... Alright. The Kingdra. Gonna go for the Draco Meteor into the Slowbro. That probably will KO with Life Orb. Oh, wow, I didn't, but unfortunately, I went for the Calm Mind, and I was really thinking about going for the Slack Off there as well. Special attack, special defense rises, but now I'm in Muddy Water range. So I'm gonna have to hope. Well, I can't even do anything, because I think I lost this because he can just Muddy Water and Scald. And I have nothing for that. So I might as well go for the Slack Off, go for the Rock Slide. I can't even switch out into Raichu because it cannot take a Muddy Water well. I mean, my opponent really has to screw up in order to lose. I mean, maybe he would switch out Kingdra, but he's going to go for the Draco Meteor onto the Slowbro, which is more accurate than Muddy Water, so it makes sense. But that's a -4 Kingdra. I guess I'm fine with that. The Life Orb's also chipping it down, so maybe it's in Rock Slide range. Rock Slide connects. No, it doesn't even knock out Kingdra, and Politoed's gonna get Scald off. It's gonna knock out my Landers. I mean, the things that really need to happen were I needed a Rock Slide flinch on Politoed, and I basically needed that Rock Slide flinch on Politoed and the Rock Slide to knock out Kingdra in order to have a chance. So I would have had Raichu in the back with Landers and Slowbro, so yeah. I might as well go for the Thunderbolt onto Politoed to make this a 2-0 at least. Kingdra's gonna go for the Protect. I mean, now he's just getting a bit greedy, but gonna get this Thunderbolt. I'm pretty sure the game's over with Talonflame. If it's Choice Band, it will knock out my Raichu. As wow, not even my Thunderbolt KOs the Politoed. As it knocks out my Raichu, that's gonna be a 4-0 for this team. 4-0 against my team, but I'm alright with it because this team really wasn't built to be that heavy competitive. It was just a nice setup strategy that I was thinking of a while ago. And definitely didn't have an answer to Perish Song, so yeah, I'm fine with that loss. I mean, there was nothing I could really do. I mean, I was forced to switch out with Perish Song. I didn't have a good way to knock out the Politoed, so yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed this VGC episode. If you guys always do, be sure to hit a like. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content. Check out the rest of my videos, such as my Chaos Uprising Let's Play and my VGC tip series. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.